following incident is based on Jennifer Patterson's real experiences, shared as true to the best of her recollection. Fact TV only shares stories that has real paranormal claims. Welcome to Fact TV, the place where we uncover chilling truths from the world of the paranormal, where facts meet fear, and every story makes you wonder what might be lurking just beyond your line of sight. They say horror isn't always about monsters hiding under the bed. Sometimes it's about the ordinary turning sinister. The familiar house that suddenly feels like it's watching you. Or the creak of a stair when you know you're home alone. Tonight's story is one such case, where a dream home became a stage for a nightmare. This is the terrifying, and at times absurdly humorous, true haunting of Jennifer Patterson. Jennifer was just 24 when she finally found what she thought would be the perfect place to begin her adult life. The summer of 2008 was supposed to be her fresh start. A little farmhouse on 5 acres, complete with a barn for her beloved horses. She was charmed from the first glance. A cute front porch, a stocked pond out back, and exposed wooden beams in the living room that made the whole place feel warm and rustic. It was love at first sight, and she and her family bought it quickly. But Jennifer's first real introduction to the house wasn't as romantic. Before she even moved in, she took a coworker friend to see it. They stepped inside through the garage into the long hallway that cut through the house like a rifle barrel. Her friend froze and whispered, "Who else is here?" "I just saw someone cross the hall." Jennifer laughed it off, insisting the place was empty. But her friend swore the house was watching and carried an energy that felt wrong. Jennifer shrugged it away. She had her dream home. Bad vibes couldn't sign mortgages. The house, however, wasted no time in introducing itself properly. On her first solo visits, Jennifer noticed an old musty smell, like the faint odor of a nursing home. But then, without warning, she turned to leave a room and walked straight into an overpowering cloud of vintage Old Spice aftershave. It came and went in sudden bursts, always when she turned around, like an invisible grandfather trailing her, spritzing himself just to prove he was there. At first, she laughed about it, choking on the smell. Later, she stopped laughing. The cologne followed her everywhere. Then came the voices. Jennifer would come home after work and hear muffled conversations drifting through the house. She couldn't make out words, only the rhythm of arguments, laughter, and replies. When she searched with a flashlight, the voices vanished. When she stood still, they crept back. Sometimes, late at night, she heard scratchy music playing, old 1930s or 40s country tunes, twanging banjos with no radio to blame. Windows shut, television off, no cars on the road. She would freeze in place, whispering nervously, "Ghost Spotify stuck on retro." Humor was her only shield against the dread. Even when she threw a housewarming party, the ghosts RSVP'd. Friends gathered with snacks and laughter, but one guest's boyfriend, a psychic, pulled Jennifer aside. His voice was firm. "There are people here. A lot of them. They're not alive, and they don't want you here." "This is their house," Jennifer smirked, trying to play it off. "Well, they're welcome to join the conga line," she joked. But when she looked back, he was gone, vanished from the party, leaving only his warning behind. Soon, the backstory of the house revealed itself. A co-worker who knew the original owners told Jennifer that a man named Carl Johnson had built the home for his wife in the 1960s. They lived there with their children until tragedy struck. Carl's wife died in what became Jennifer's bedroom. Heartbroken, Carl refused to use the dishwasher because only his wife loaded it right. He spent his last years mourning her in the living room until he too passed. Exactly 1 year before Jennifer moved in. The house wasn't just full of memories, it was still occupied. From then on, the haunting turned aggressive. One evening, Jennifer's attic door, latched tight, slammed open with a force that rattled the walls. Her dogs erupted, snarling at the dark stairwell, their fur standing straight up. Jennifer stayed frozen on the couch. "If the dogs won't go near it, I'm not going near it," she muttered. Another time, while ripping out rotting basement panels, she heard a hiss behind her. "Get out!" She froze, heart racing. Again, louder. "Get out!" When she bolted for the stairs, something icy gripped her ankle, nails digging into her skin. She kicked free, sprinted up, slammed the door, and knew without doubt she wasn't alone. There were nights she saw a hulking shadow man framed in the front window, so real she called her brother over to check the house. Nothing was found, but her dogs never wagged happily at the door again. Twice, she was shoved down the basement stairs, hard enough to bruise ribs and tear a shoulder. She joked darkly, "Clumsy Jen." Nope. Poltergeist eviction notice. But the doctor confirmed her injuries. This was no stumble. When Sean, a skeptical co-worker who later became her boyfriend, moved in, the house introduced itself to him too. Flies swarmed the kid's bedroom daily, filling the window in biblical numbers. He dismissed it as plumbing or weather, until the night an inflatable mattress launched itself across a 3-foot hallway, mid-air, and smacked the opposite wall at the same height it started. Sean, a science-minded man, just stared. That defies physics. From that point on, even he stopped making excuses. The shadow man returned. Blacker than the darkness, it appeared at their bedroom doorway, head and shoulders outlined like a cutout in space. Jennifer screamed. The figure vanished. That same night, the locked bedroom door clicked open, the latch snapping back by itself. Later, at 2 in the morning, a deafening bang shook the house as if the front door had been kicked in. Sean grabbed his .45 and cleared every room, then circled the 5 acres outside. Nothing. No intruder. No damage. Just silence. Pressing and deliberate. The final straw came when their 3-year-old son began reading to invisible friends, turning picture books and showing the images to someone who wasn't there. Jennifer's humor evaporated. "Target me if you want," she said, "but not my kid." They brought in the Fort Wayne Shadow Chasers, a paranormal team with investigators and a psychic medium. The group captured startling evidence. On their recorders came the sound of a man sneezing when only women were present. Another EVP said, "6 of you lived here. I did too." The team burned sage, offered blessings, and advised Jennifer and Sean to stay strong and coexist. Jennifer wasn't having it. Coexist? After shoving me downstairs? After scaring my child? They can keep the house. And so they left. Her skeptical parents took over renovations, but quickly changed their tune after their own encounters. A fly swatter thrown down basement stairs, phantom footsteps in the kitchen, and doors opening on their own. Eventually, the house was sold, then sold again and again. its story still walks its halls. Jennifer, meanwhile, turned her trauma into storytelling. She appeared on TV, co-hosted the United States of Paranormal podcast, and shared her tale with anyone who dared to listen. She jokes now about the Old Spice ghost and the mattress with an attitude, but her eyes still harden when she recalls the shadow man at her door. Some houses, she reminds us, aren't dreams. They're grief traps with porches. And if you're ever house hunting and smell a sudden waft of cologne with no bottle in sight, maybe, just maybe, keep walking. This has been Fact TV. If you want more stories where laughter is just a thin mask over fear, hit like, subscribe, and share. Because in this world, horror is closer than you think.